Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be discussing my favorite pastime at this point and guilty pleasure, seeking sister wife. Yeah, seeking sister wife. This is season 3, episode 7, called Miss You Much. I have recapped other episodes. They will be in the eye down below on my channel in general. I created a playlist for TLC shows because obviously TLC is always putting out some type of show. I saw that they have a new season of Smothered coming. I'm probably going to recap that because last time they had Smothered, I mean, how could you resist the cringe-worthy delightfulness, I guess you could say. Anyway, so yes, like this video, comment below, and subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss my recaps. And yeah, keep watching. So, first off, we are going to start with the Snowdens. And I know that the Snowdens have been in the news. There was a TMZ article, I think. There was a TMZ article. There was also, I know my YouTube was kind of stacked with videos about what's going on with the Snowdens. I am going to leave a link to one video in particular because that's where I first saw the news. And then I'm also going to link another YouTuber's channel. Their names are escaping me, but I will be sure to put them down below. Because she has been keeping up to date on what's going on with the Snowdens. And what I mean by that is she first divulged about the whole, was it a restraining order? The whole domestic violence allegations, and then she has kept updates in terms of what's happening with Vanessa and Taylor and what the current state is and things like that. So I will leave both of them down below just because I feel like they can do a better job of, explaining the situation and keeping up to date with any facts or anything like that. But I just want to say a PSA. Domestic violence is not okay for men or women, and that is what I have to say about the situation. But like I said, I will leave those videos down below. Yes. Like I said, domestic violence is not okay in any sense of the form, men or women, 100%. So I'm going to dive in to the Snowdens, and it's just kind of, I don't know, finding out that information, it kind of taints the way that you look at them the rest of the episode. I don't know if TLC has released anything in regards of it. I also don't know if maybe moving forward they are going to drop them out of the season. I haven't seen anything like that come up as well. But like I said, it definitely puts like a colored lens over them now. But let's go on. So the Snowdens, a lot to uncover. So as you know, Taylor has been living with them. It's been about 2 weeks since she moved in. And the Snowdens are like, Taylor makes a great, mom, but they're not sure about her in general. And I'm kind of surprised about this because I was just surprised that they allowed her to move in general, because I feel like they really didn't know her all that well. She was the third sister wife. She was only there for 5 days. Maybe it was a TV thing. I even saw one YouTube channel's recap where they're like, Taylor's giving homeless vibes or something like that. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. So Taylor has to tell her mom, and she said she had told her mom that she was dating the Snowdens, but her mom kind of took it as a joke. Well, now her mom realizes she was dead serious. But her mom's biggest qualm, her mom's biggest issue is that Dimitri is getting to date multiple people, but Taylor is not. So I guess her mom is saying, like, this isn't a tit for tat situation. He gets to have all these women around him, you know, if it eventually leads to more kids or whatever. And she's basically just like, you're boxed in. And, you know, if he really wanted to, in a couple years, he could add another wife. You know, it's just, it's a very singular focus. It's all about Dimitri. And her mom is basically like, what about your options? Which is a very valid point, because in this situation, it is all about Dimitri. So her mom is not a fan of this type of living situation or lifestyle. And I think that would probably be most parents. If you're not aware or don't know about this type of lifestyle, you may go into it and be like, haha, very funny. But she's in it, so yeah. And then we find out that COVID had just started really popping up around the country. If you forget, Chrissy lives in South Africa, and she was supposed to come to America to kind of have a visit now with her and her girls. What I'm a little confused about is they didn't really mention it, but they said extended visit. So I guess it was a visa that they were coming on. It didn't seem like this was just going to be a week-long visit like before. This seems like it's going to be, you know, 2 months, 3 months, whatever the max could be. But yeah, Chrissy, COVID was kind of hitting, and I think Chrissy said she literally got on a plane and then within, you know, a few days her country shut down. So she just made it in the time frame to come. And they basically had like a little note for when they brought on Chrissy, saying that Chrissy and her girls hopped on a flight for their visit so they wouldn't risk being apart, because obviously COVID was so unpredictable in the beginning, didn't know how long bans were gonna be in effect, and you know, if she's coming on a visa that could expire or whatever the deal was. So she basically just hopped on the flight. They made sure to mention that Taylor and Dimitri have not been intimate. Chrissy did tell her family about her being in a relationship with Dimitri and the family, and she said that her family is very supportive, so that's good. But now they were a little worried because obviously when Taylor moved in, they kind of got an etch and flow. I don't think that's the right term I'm looking for, but they were flowing in the dynamics of what is expected from everyone. You know, it was Dimitri and Taylor and Ashley and the 3 kids, and now you're putting Chrissy and her kids. So they're just trying to make sure that everything flows simultaneously as it has before, because like I said, it's not just Chrissy coming in, it's her and her girls. So yes, that is it for the Snowdens. Next up we have everyone's favorite, the Merrifields. The Merrifields. So what is happening? So where we see it is Garrick and Roberta are coming back from their little boat trip, and Garrick was in some really short shorts. Like, I know that is that the norm now? Like, the swim trunks are shorter. I remember when I was, you know, at camp in high school like 10 years ago, I remember when I was in like camp 10 years ago plus, it was like the men wore the really long shorts that were from like hip to knee, but his was, you know, quite short. Like, okay, Garrick, you better rock that look or whatever. So Garrick revealed to Danielle about the whole Roberta saying that she would leave if Danielle was not comfortable with the situation. And I kind of felt Danielle took it as, oh my gosh, she loves me so much. She's like willing to sacrifice her happiness for me. I kind of took it like Garrick's looking at her like, hey, you're messing things up for me here. You have got to get it together, pull it together, okay? Do not mess this up for me. That's what I took it as. I know that's how she took it. Oh, Roberta. And here's I'm not faulting Roberta at all. I have gotten genuine vibes. I don't know if it's just me, but I have gotten genuine vibes from Roberta from the beginning. So I'm not faulting her. I'm just saying that it was very convenient for Garrick to dangle that carrot in front of her. Like I said, Garrick does not show emotion. Well, you know what? I'm eating my words right there. Let me continue with this recap. So Danielle basically asked Garrick, like, I just want to know that we're enough for you and whatnot. And he's like, you're the biggest blessing in my life. And he just like delivers it. Garrick, I need to put a little something in it, But yeah, Garrick confirmed that he still loved Danielle. And I guess that pacified the situation until we got to the end when they were at their goodbye dinner. They're both in pink. I'm like, who coordinated this? Okay. And this man was breaking down before they even got to the airport. Listen, if you take out the polygamy part, and it's just like, I hate to say this, but it's just like Garrick and Roberta together. Am I in focus? Can I just not see? Okay, yeah. If you take out the Danielle, and I'm not saying, but I'm saying if it was just Garrick and Roberta together in a relationship by themselves, God forbid, if you took out that element, they would be crying, because it's like, oh, I haven't seen you in, was it a year or 6 months? 6 months of it, a year, whatever that thing is. You hadn't seen your partner in a while. You get together, oh no, we're leaving again. So of course, the crying will ensue. Why isn't it focusing? Has it been out of focus this whole time? Okay. So what is happening? Hello, can you see me? Why do I feel like I'm kind of out of, can I just not see? Hold on a second. Like that looks focused, right? Am I still in focus? Yes, okay. My eyes essentially do not want to work today. Okay, I need to hurry along because I have places to go. Okay, like I was saying, if it was just them, it would make sense, whatever. But he has a whole nother family, and y'all, he was breaking down at the dinner table, and then he's breaking down in the confessional, and Danielle and Roberta like rush to him, and he's just like weeping. Okay, I mean, streams of tears coming down his eyes, talking about, I miss Bert. Bert's right there. That's besides the point. But what I took away from this is this guy did not shed one single tear when he got divorced from Danielle. And it's not the fact that like he knew that they would still be together. My whole thing is you're telling the courts that you are no longer together, So I mean, not one single tear. Like, if you saw the scene, Danielle was crying at the courthouse and he didn't shed one single tear. But for Bert, you're over here dry heaving. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, he shows emotions with Bert, but then it seems like he doesn't reciprocate it for Danielle. And then Danielle was like, I hope he's still going to be happy with our life in Colorado. Sis, I hope you have a secret bank account that is loaded with money, because this situation is messy. Mexico made it messier. And yeah, that's all I have to say about that. What have I been saying? Danielle, get you a brother husband and keep it pushing. Okay? Tit for tat. Equality. Okay. That is the end of the marriage. I mean, I might be. That is my. No. That is the end of my recap for the marriage. Winders. I do this every time, but. So when we see them, it's actually been 3 months, because Ephraim is now 3 months old. So, you know, I think with most of everyone, things shut down with COVID, and then until it was all clear, they brought them back. But it seems like I've seen, you know, with 90 Day Fiance, they gave them phones to kind of film it themselves. It didn't seem, well, they did it with Sidian and Tasha. And I guess they did it with the Clarks as well. Yeah, okay. So, let me continue. Okay, so they kind of mentioned that in the 3 months since Ephraim has been at home, that they're trying to find their groove. Basically, Sophie was not able to help out a lot. You know, she had the baby. And so Tammy really had to step up and kind of take care of the household and cook and clean and all that stuff. And eventually it came to a head, and they had to sit down and be like, I feel like I'm doing all of this. I feel like I'm doing all this. And even Colton was like, something's off. So basically where we find them, they are slowly getting back into a groove of things, and things are ebbing and flowing. Is that what I was saying? I was saying etching and flowing, wasn't I? Ebbing? Ebb and flow? Nope. Anyway. So they point out actually that Colton does not show emotion. And I feel like that's a good thing to know about yourself, that Garrick, are you listening? Yeah, they say, you know, if he's excited, he's the same way. If he's upset, that his face does not show emotion at all. And I'm like, that's a good thing to realize, that that is not a strong suit of yours, and that everyone recognizes it and accepts it. Because some people don't show emotion, but they're very willing to use their words to convey how they feel. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So, Colton has a birthday. He's turning 33. Also, I thought this guy was younger. I don't know if it's just me. I thought he was maybe 28, 29-ish. I think he just has like a baby face. Like if he shaved his beard, I'm sure he would look baby. Did he have a beard since the beginning? I don't know. It's been so long. But, the girls bring up Kimberly, because if you remember, Kimberly was supposed to come, but then COVID happened, so obviously the girls bring up the whole Kimberly sister wife situation. And I'm kind of surprised, because it seems like the girls are the ones that are kind of pushing this, and Colton's just kind of in the back seat. Like they're in the driver's seat, driver's passenger side, and he's in the back seat, and he actually voiced, which once again I'm surprised, and I think I'm surprised because when you hear polygamy, especially in the religious sense, it just seems like the men are the ones that are kind of at the forefront, and the men are the ones kind of driving the boat. But in this case, it kind of felt like Tammy and Sophie were driving it, but Colton said that he has concerns about Kimberly, which I was surprised about. Um, he's not sure about the whole situation, and basically it boils down to the fact that he felt like there were no sparks between him and Kimberly. And I was like, that's a surprise thing for you to even admit. Like, that's, good for you. But Tammy kind of mentioned, excuse me, Tammy mentioned, well, the whole relationship has been online. It might be different once you meet her in person. And I think he understood that part. He was kind of like, okay, that makes sense. But I was just surprised when he mentioned that he had concerns about the situation. I was like, that's a really good thing to see, basically. And also, Tammy shared a little bit about her fertility journey. She said that she had been praying for 3 years to have a child. And if you remember in a previous episode, she said that she had taken medication to help her with her fertility struggles. And she said that 2 weeks after Ephraim came home, she actually miscarried a baby. So, that had to have been a hard situation. As you know, she said she's always wanted a sibling for Sadie. And, obviously Ephraim is there, but she wants to carry her own child. But to have hope, because I think she said it was like she found out she was pregnant and then a week later she miscarried. So she had that hope for a week that she was going to be able to provide that sibling, and then you have Ephraim there as well. But that must have been difficult. But she toyed with the idea of even telling Colton, because I think it came off as she didn't want to burden him with the hope. She's like, this isn't her first miscarriage, unfortunately, and she didn't want to burden him with that. But he kind of told her, I understand where you're coming from. He's like, but I want to be there with you. I want to be in it with you. I want to comfort you, or whatever you need from me. He was basically like, I want to know so that I can be there for you. So it was good that he was able, like he said, he doesn't show emotion, but obviously he's able to convey what he's feeling. And obviously that was a comfort to Tammy, because she really appreciated that. And yeah, that must have been a really hard struggle. And next week with the Winders, we actually see that Kimberly shows up. So that should be interesting. We get to see Kimberly in person. So, yay. So, last but not least, the Clarks. The Clarks were like a snippet this episode. Basically what happened, we found out Gerard is actually like a high school teacher, coach, and personal trainer. And because of COVID, he's been like at home while Vanessa goes out to her job, and he's been at home with the kids. So he's like, I'm doing all these jobs. But at the beginning, they agreed to give Kayla space because of COVID. She wasn't really coming around. I mean, I know my family was kind of not going around with family just to be precautious. Yeah, and so they started giving her space, and then eventually they all came to the realization that the relationship isn't working anymore. So they actually broke up, which was a shock. It definitely looked like Vanessa took it hard. Like I said from the beginning, she seemed to be always very supportive of Kayla and very loving towards Kayla and very understanding of Kayla. But to have a person with you for 2+ years and then, it being over. And especially also for the kids, the kids, I guess they weren't used to her being around because she did kind of leave a while ago, but still to kind of tell the kids, sorry, my voice is cracking, to kind of tell the kids like, hey, she's definitely not coming around anymore. It's over type of situation. And basically what Gerard thought it came down to was the fact that Kayla needed to find her path, which I agree with. She mentioned various times, she wanted a job, she wanted to find a career, she wanted to do all of that. And sometimes it seemed like that wasn't going to be an option in this relationship because they really wanted her focus at home. And like she said, she was young, they were older, they got to experience that career, experience, you know, that path. And if she stayed in the relationship, she would not have been able to experience it. He kind of was like, I don't understand why she couldn't experience it outside the home, or why she had to do that outside of the home. And it's like, she obviously felt like she wasn't going to grow if she stayed. So she wanted to leave. And it seems like he's fine, because next week we see him possibly going and finding another sister wife. So obviously, you know, it hurts, but you move on. So that is the end of Seeking Sister Wife recap. Hopefully it was in focus. I don't know what that one instance was. But what do you feel about episode 7? How quickly I forget. How do you feel about episode 7? How are you feeling about the couples, the families? How are you feeling about the show in general? Are you excited for any upcoming shows? Smothered? Also, the situation on the Snowdens, let me know down below your thoughts. Like I said, I'll link the videos down below so that you can kind of go and see, because like I said, they've put time into their research, and so, you know, I'll let them explain the situation. But yeah, let me know down below. Thank you. Bye.